In this series, we're going to talk about taking your side hustle to the next level with the brand new Bernzomatic FirePoint Creator Tool. We're going to take some simple wood coasters and add some color and creativity in a way that you haven't seen before. In these videos, I want to inspire you with my story and why I'm happier as a creative person. Creating my own art and furniture gets me excited to wake up every day, and I want you to feel the same excitement in your creative pursuits. I love the idea that I'm responsible for my own successes. There's nothing more rewarding than seeing my hard work pay off. As a self-employed woodworker, the possibilities are only limited to my own imagination. One of my favorite things about working for myself is I can go out to the shop the instant an idea comes to mind, whether it's 7 a.m. or 11 p.m. Being a maker makes me happy. We've got a limited amount of time on this earth, we need to make the most of it. I find happiness in making art and furniture. My grandfather just turned 100 years old and he still goes into the shop whenever he can. If there's one thing that I've learned from Grandpa Pachuto is you've got to have a purpose. And for me, being my own boss gives me that sense of purpose. The work is the reward. This is the part where we get to have some fun and add some creativity to our woodworking. This is the new Bernzomatic FirePoint Creator Tool. The really cool thing about this is you can use the regular Bernzomatic propane, or if you need something a little bit hotter, you can use the Bernzomatic MAP-Pro gas. Today we're just going to use the Bernzomatic propane because we need a lower temperature. This torch comes with this handy little base, which your tank fits into, and then it has a little holster in here with a metal insert where you can store your torch. What's unique and awesome about this is the one-handed use with the bigger tanks, and you get the instant on-off. Or you can have it hold on all with just one hand, and then on the top here, you have a knob to control your flame. I've taken some acrylic and I've thinned it down with some water and a little bit of soap, which is going to create a reaction when using the FirePoint Creator Tool. What the torch is going to do is it's going to break the surface tension of the acrylic, allowing the color underneath to come bubbling up. And we're gonna get this like star effect. Something you couldn't do with epoxy, and this is non-toxic. This is really cool. So check this out. I'm going to pour one color on one side, not too much. Another color on the other side. Just dump this onto the coaster. Let it kind of do its thing. And then I'm gonna pull this up and we get this cool effect. Now, before you use the torch, you wanna spread out the acrylic. Ooh, there's some cool bubbles forming already, and we're going to accelerate that process with the FirePoint Creator Tool. I'm gonna turn the torch on into its lock position, all one-handed, and then I can adjust the flame so it's at its lowest setting, and I will get rid of the bubbles and I will create new, what we'll call little stars. This does take some practice. I have tried so many techniques. I've spent hours working on this, different formulas. People are saying to use silicone or to add some soap and water and rubbing alcohol to the mixture to get these cells. I've tried them all. Don't use the pouring acrylic, just use the regular acrylic in a tube and thin it down. For whatever reason, the pouring acrylic doesn't work with this technique, at least not for me. We're working with fire here. Make sure you're safe. Wear gloves when you're using this stuff. You gotta be safe. Trying a couple different techniques. Let's see if I can get them to mix a little bit better by pouring them both at the same time. Thank you to Bernzomatic for sponsoring today's video. I've got a whole series of videos where we use the torch and also talk about jump starting your side hustle. I will say that acrylic pouring, it's new to me and it's definitely a skill. The more you do, the better you get at it, just like anything else. And I encourage you to experiment and have some fun with your woodworking. Bring in some of the colors. Using the torch to bring out those cells, you can get different size cells using different formulas with a little bit of silicone and maybe some rubbing alcohol, but be careful with the rubbing alcohol because it's really flammable. I don't want you to hurt yourself. So you can learn more about the FirePoint Creator Tool at Bernzomatic.com. You can also get this summer at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, and Canadian Tire. Thank you again to Bernzomatic for sponsoring this video. As always, be safe, have fun, stay passionate, and make something.